Did you know that zoos have been around for thousands of years? According to National Geographic, many ancient civilizations such as Egypt, Greece, Rome, and China all had zoos. However, these early zoos were private collections owned by the wealthy and weren't available to the public. Modern zoos are available for everyone, and while they are still a source of entertainment, they also do important work in education and conservation. Through my research on this topic, I've learned a lot about zoos and their benefits. I will now share what I've learned with you. Today, I will convince you that zoos are beneficial in many ways. Zoos are beneficial because they educate the public, preserve endangered species, and rehabilitate sick and injured animals. The first reason why zoos are beneficial is that they educate the public. According to the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, or AZA, AZA-accredited zoos and aquariums play a vital role in educating over 180 million visitors, including 51 million students each year, about wild animals, their habitats, their related conservation issues, and the ways in which they can contribute to their preservation. Not only do zoos educate millions of people a year, this education has an impact. A 3-year study by the AZA found that 61% of zoo visitors could talk about their experience months later, and 31% of visitors said that their visit increased their concern for animal welfare and conservation. The second reason why zoos are beneficial is that they preserve endangered species. There are some species that would be extinct today if it weren't for the dedicated conservation efforts of zoos. One of these is the California condor, a large bird similar to a vulture. This is what a California condor looks like. The Taronga Conservation Society Australia describes how they were saved. At one point, the California condor was extinct in the wild, with only 27 birds remaining in captivity. But thanks to the breeding programs at the San Diego Wildlife Park and the Los Angeles Zoo, there are now hundreds of California condors living in the wild. Another species that was saved from extinction by zoos is the Arabian oryx, a type of antelope that lives in the desert. This is what an Arabian oryx looks like. Once again, the Taronga Conservation Society Australia tells their story. The Arabian oryx was hunted to extinction in the wild, but the conservation programs at the Phoenix Zoo and several other zoos were able to bring their numbers back up. Today, there are over 1,000 of these animals back in the wild, with thousands more protected by zoos worldwide. Without zoos, these two species and several others would be gone forever. The third reason why zoos are beneficial is that they rehabilitate sick and injured animals. Some people might not know where animals in the zoo come from. They could think that animals in the zoo are taken from the wild solely for our entertainment. However, this is rarely the case. Katie Mace, a member of the Wildlife Leadership Academy, states, "Many animals in the zoo were at one point patients due to various injuries. Many times the animals had been taken in due to injuries caused by human actions, or they may have been born and raised in captivity. These animals would not have survived in the wild, but they're given a second chance in the zoo." In addition to this, animals in captivity often live longer than they would in the wild. A study by the University of Zurich found that most mammals live longer in captivity. There are several reasons for this. In the zoo, animals don't have to worry about predators or food shortages. They aren't at risk at losing their homes due to human interference, and if an animal in the zoo becomes sick or injured, they'll have access to medical care that they wouldn't be able to get in the wild. Now that you've learned how zoos are beneficial, let's review what I've covered. Today, I've convinced you that zoos are beneficial in many ways. Zoos are beneficial because they educate the public, preserve endangered species, and rehabilitate sick and injured animals. As I finish, remember that modern zoos have come a long way from the early menageries I spoke about earlier. Modern zoos replicate animal habitats in safe places with plenty of space. They have access to veterinary care for their animals, and they aid in their conservation. And they do all this while still providing an entertaining and educational experience to people all around the world. The next time you visit your local zoo, ask about their education and conservation programs. You might be surprised to learn all they do for humans and animals. Thank you.